Jake, you into vintage?
No, I'm into retro.
Oh, what's the difference?
About $10.
Fair enough. Look at that. Someone took the butcher knife.
Congratulations on returning yet again to the Chucky franchise. I mean, as we all know, Chucky's saying is don't fuck with the Chuck, but you just never listen to him. What is it about coming back? Is it easy to convince you to come back, or have you just keep getting these offers all the time and you just can't refuse them?
He keeps wanting to fuck with us, so we have no choice. Yeah, this fan base is so tremendous, and our appreciation for them and our appreciation for each other is so strong, and such a bond over the 3 decades that as long as Don has more story to tell and wants us to be a part of it, and as long as we're able to survive Chucky's wrath, I can't imagine a time where we'd ever turn that down. It's just too much fun to have this incredibly rare opportunity to play a character that, in my case, I started at 6 years old and I'm 40 now. So yeah, it's remarkable. It's a real pleasure.
I feel exactly the same way. And
No,
it's
I
like
can
family. I've known Alex since he was 7 years old, and I've known Don, for 30 years now. And Jennifer I've known as long as well. So it's like summer camp, to go up there and work with these people that you know and love. And Chucky movies, how they are viewed, scary, and dark. That's not the experience on set, So it's really just fun.
Does Don call you and say, "Hey, I've got this idea to bring you back," or does he kind of ask you? Does he ask you what you think of it, and then maybe change things a little bit to help to kind of fit you in and kind of make you appreciate more the reason why you are actually in the series, or do you just Don rings you up and you just take for granted that whatever he's written is going to be perfect?
Don likes to bounce ideas off of us. I mean, he gets excited about an idea that he has, and he can't help but give us snippets of it. And while I think he does like to keep some things a surprise until we're actually reading a script, he does, when he's brainstorming ideas, he usually does come with them to us, not in a professional sense, but in a friends talking about what they're doing sense. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of a collaboration in that sense, although whatever Don wants us to do with these characters, inevitably we're going to do. I can't really imagine a time that I'd put my foot down and say, that's not what Andy would do, but he's very open to our thoughts about the characters. He knows very well that when you're talking about characters that have been with you your entire life, it does matter to us what happens with these characters, and it matters what the fans think of their progression in the story. So yeah, it's very much a team effort in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, and this time around, Zachary, that plays Jake, he kind of takes over your 2 roles now, because you were the 2 protagonists, especially kind of Alex, your role now. Did you speak to him beforehand? Did he come to you for advice and say, what do you recommend? Because I mean, I imagine he wasn't. I mean, he maybe is familiar with it, but not as familiar as you guys were. So I imagine he maybe came to you for some tips.
He came to me and let me know he's the new me.
I was very good.
Yeah. No. We joke about that because he did actually say that, like, "Oh, I'm the new you," and he is the new lead protagonist, which was my role in the first 2 films for sure. But he brings something very different to it than I did when I was a child, or than I do now. His character, I think, is just very layered and complex, and I think he plays it excellently. But yeah, I don't really see, other than the structured job of that role in a story, being the lead protagonist, I don't think the characters are all that common. Don are related to each other. Like, Don kind of does see Jake as the anti-Andy Barclay in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he's doing a great job. So it's really easy to root for him.
I'm glad you said that he's kind of the anti-Andy Barclay, because in this series, for the episodes I've seen so far, I almost kind of sympathize for the devil in a way, because he's kind of rooting for the new character Jake, because there's all these things going on, homophobia and all these kind of hatred going on, hate mongering.
What happened to you, Jake? You used to have friends.
Don't forget your boy toy.
Definitely, and I think even more than that, there's just a, I've been watching a lot of reactions and reviews and fans' opinions of the show, and there's a lot of people that want him to be a killer. They really want Chucky to get to this boy to the point to corrupt him all the way to murdering others. So there's a darkness that people relate to in all kinds of characters, even in Chucky, someone who is really not that redeemable, short of, having a great sense of humor. But as far as Jake goes, fans sympathize for him greatly, but they are very much rooting for him to take charge one way or another, whether it's for good or for bad. And I've seen a mix of both opinions, and that's just a testament to how layered and complex the character is.
Chucky broke his soul into pieces. The last piece didn't go into a doll.
Hello, Chucky. Long time no see.
Having been with the franchise so long, you must be amazed at how the animatronics has progressed, no? With each different iteration. I mean, this one's just fantastic. Christine, the second one was particularly kind of eye-opening when it came out, because it really did kind of progress a lot from the first one. How has this series opened your eyes in a big way? Because it's just fantastic compared to the predecessors.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
One quick joke, and then you can answer. I'm glad you guys are so impressed with the animatronics. The truth is, Chucky's actually alive now, though. So that's why he looked so great.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
The Child's Play 2 doll tends to be most people's favorite doll. I kind of like the Jack Nicholson doll in the first one. I kind of like the receding hairline Chucky from Chucky, the first Child's Play, but it's intentionally, like Child's Play 2, a great deal of homage is being paid to Child's Play 2 and that particular doll. His animatronics, it's still a practical puppet. It's really funny when you read people complaining about how bad the CGI is, and there's virtually none. I think the only CGI is him coming down the stairs in Curse, I think. He's a CGI doll there. CGI there, but I think that there's an authenticity and warmth to practical puppetry that is part of why he's so appealing. I think if he had any kind of a computer-generated thing, I'm not a fan of computer-generated animation. I'm still not comfortable with it. I still like old school animation. And I think that the fact that Don is stuck with that is a big part of why Chucky has the loyal base that he does.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm calling about the doll.
What?
Be very careful with that doll.
What are you talking about?
Have you checked his batteries?
Alex and Christine, thank you so much for your time. I wish you the best of luck with the series, and hopefully we get to see you in another iteration sometime in the future.
Yes,
Thank
please.
you, Howard.
What's going on with you? You wouldn't believe me if I told you. Chucky. He's gone.
Dude, you have a serious doll problem.
If you only knew.